You wake up in ancient Egypt with the sun already screaming through your window like it has a personal vendetta. And for one brief moment, the Nile is glittering. The air smells like fresh bread, and everything is perfect. Then you remember you're gay, and the most powerful civilization on Earth has just filed you under does not compute. Not criminally, not violently, just administratively. You are a gap in the papyrus, a question the world's most obsessive record keepers looked at, set down, and professionally ignored. Worse than having an enemy, at least enemies acknowledge you exist. Egypt runs on Ma'at, divine cosmic order. Your correct position in the grand design involves a wife, children, a family tomb, and a bloodline that continues until the sun God personally clocks out. You feel zero attraction to women. Excellent. Outstanding. Very efficient of you to malfunction inside the civilization that invented a 75-foot hand-painted instruction manual for surviving the afterlife, buried with your corpse so you don't get lost. Egypt prepared for every possible problem. Every possible problem except you. Egypt has a god for everything. A god for the Nile. A god for bread. A god for the specific moment between dusk and full darkness. A god whose entire job description is protecting you from crocodiles, which says a lot about the general work environment down here. There is no god for what you are. Not because it's forbidden, because no one filed the paperwork. So you do what every gay man in a civilization built on compliance does. You get extremely good at your job. Your grain columns are legendary. Your supervisor called you the most reliable man in the department, which you're choosing to receive as a compliment and not as an obituary. None of this solves anything. The question that follows you everywhere, like a shadow that also files reports, is not, are you competent? It's, when are you getting married? Your mother asks. Your father asks. The priest asks. Which is the worst version, because now the gods are CC'd and there's a spiritual paper trail. Egypt has 1,500 gods, and apparently every single one of them has an opinion on your romantic timeline. You say, soon. You've been saying soon for 4 years. Egypt doesn't have a law against you. No decree carved into temple walls. No official religious position. No papyrus scroll listing your desires, alongside tomb robbery and grain theft as crimes against Ma'at. You think, maybe I'm fine, maybe there's room for me here. It's not that they've decided you're acceptable. It's that they've decided you're unclassifiable. Egypt cannot file you within Ma'at. And anything Egypt cannot file simply does not get a file. No ceremony, no contract, no tomb painting of you and someone you actually love. In the afterlife, when your heart gets weighed against the feather of truth by Osiris in front of 42 divine judges, there is no hieroglyph for what you felt. Just a very long, very official silence. You are not prosecuted. You are not seen. You are a smudge on the cosmic ledger that the world's most meticulous accountants have decided, professionally, to ignore. Which is lonelier than having a law against you. At least, a law is a conversation. But then, you hear about the tomb. Khnumhotep and Nyankhnum, 2 men, chief overseers of the royal manicurists. Yes, real title. Yes, real power. No, you may not laugh. Buried together at Saqqara in 2400 BCE. Nose to nose. Embracing. In the pose, Egyptian art reserves exclusively for married couples. Their wives painted in the background. One wife removed from a wall panel during construction, like a bad draft. Their names intertwined above the entrance. Joined in life. Joined in death. 2 men. 1 tomb. For eternity. You think, there is a path. You just need to become chief overseer of royal manicurists, commission a joint tomb, and do all of this before anyone's senior enough to rewrite the wall panel's notices. Easy. A normal career plan available to anyone. You rise. You make yourself so professionally frictionless that no one ever accumulates enough proximity to ask the question you cannot answer. Your grain reports border on spiritual. You are, by every administrative measurement, an outstanding Egyptian. You are also running a full-time performance inside your own life, and nobody has noticed because the set design is immaculate. Then you meet someone. He works in the adjacent records department, ink permanently on his left hand. The kind of person who quotes classical poetry wrong during official ceremonies. Not by accident, but to see who in the room is paying close enough attention to catch it. You catch it every time. He catches you catching it. This goes on for 3 months. It is the most exciting administrative experience of your life, which is either very romantic or a damning indictment of your career. 6 months before it's spoken. Another 6 weeks of pretending the garden conversation didn't happen. Then confirming it did. Something real, inside a system with no legal category for it. You cannot marry. No ceremony, no contract, no priest. In Egyptian courts, where you are guilty until proven innocent and witnesses are beaten to confirm they're telling the truth, there is no court that handles what you are. If he dies, you have no standing in his records. If you are sick, he has no right to be present. Legally speaking, 2 colleagues who happen to share a garden. Egypt has a process for everything. Disputed inheritance, court. Unpaid tomb maintenance, sue the priest. A Ka priest who stops making offerings to your dead grandfather. Legally actionable, court date available Tuesday. 2 men who love each other. Please hold, your call is not recognized by this system. And then the pressure becomes a wall. You are in your 30s. In Egypt, where 35 is less a life expectancy and more a firm deadline. Your father sits you down. Not a conversation, a performance review with afterlife consequences. Your ancestors are watching from beyond, he says, with the tone of a man who has personally confirmed this. Your mother has sourced candidates. The priest is booked. You have essentially been scheduled. You find a woman, intelligent, practical, her own invisible constraints, and you enter an arrangement that papyrus will recognize as a marriage. You are not unkind to her. She is not unkind to you. 2 people being extremely civilized about a situation that serves the cosmic record, and precisely no one sitting at that dinner table. You have children. They are genuinely, unexpectedly wonderful. You love them with a completeness that surprises you every morning. Your tomb will be painted with your family, smiling, harvesting wheat, feeding ducks, the full eternal package. Your official biography. Correct, compliant, Mayat approved, filed in triplicate, stamped by a priest. A good man, a reliable man. A performance so clean the audience never suspected it was one. And the man with the ink-stained hand, the one who quoted poetry wrong on purpose, remains a gap in the record. Not criminalized, not acknowledged. Just quietly, officially, permanently absent from the version of your life that Egypt agreed to write down. Egypt doesn't need a law against you. No prison, no execution, no condemnation. Just this, a system so certain of what a human life is supposed to look like. It builds the walls before you're old enough to recognize them as walls. You grow up inside the shape of a life designed for someone else. You learn to perform it so well that eventually the performance and the person become difficult to separate. The Nile floods on schedule. Ra rises every morning without missing a shift. The grain gets counted. The 42 divine judges weigh hearts all day without a break. The records stay immaculate. And in a garden that is now 4,000 years of sand, a man once quoted poetry wrong on purpose, just to hear your voice correct him. That happened. It was real. Egypt just didn't write it down.